Hi, I'm Matt, and today we're going to be talking about being funny in D&D. So, you want to be funny at the table? Great! If you're naturally funny already, awesome. If not, well, you can learn it. How well you can do it is largely based on your work ethic and, of course, natural talent. We can't really control talent, but we can control your work ethic. In the first part of this series, we're going to be talking about confidence. And what better way to do that than with the ultimate tool of humor, the pun. Whether you're delivering a pun, playing with innuendo, telling a story, or playing up a comedic quirk or moment at the table, you're gonna fail a lot more than you succeed. Don't let that stop you. As an improv comedian, I was faced with failure over and over and over again on stage. It sucks when a joke doesn't land, especially when you're standing alone in the spotlight in front of a silent audience. The thing to remember is that even the best stand-up comedians bomb from time to time. The key is that with any amount of failure, it's never the end of the world, and you keep going. If you watch a show with a funny character, it seems like they're able to keep hitting and hitting and hitting over and over again. Now that's typically because it's written. It's been screened through many other comedic writers and audiences, and the delivery is allowed multiple takes in order to hit the setup and punch perfectly. And even then, not everyone's gonna get it. And of the people that do, not everyone's gonna find it funny. If your goal is to be funny, then I want you to try without fear of failure. Of course, if you want to be funny at the table, then be mindful of your character, your fellow players, your DM, the overall tone of the game. If it fits, then give it a shot. Just recognize that. If this is a new endeavor for you, you won't hit most of the time, at least in the beginning. The biggest hurdle I've seen for new improvisers is the willingness to not only fail in the beginning, but to continue to attempt. Push past that voice that wants you to clam up and stop. Just remember that if even premeditated and planned material can fail, then the improvised material you come up with can fail too. But if you don't try, you don't have the chance to succeed. If we're going into the process of bringing humor to the table with the recognition that failure is not only possible, but imminent, then why don't we play with the most infamous of tools, the pun. Puns are powerful. They're also hated. Why would you or anyone else want to play with puns? They're simple. Now, simple doesn't necessarily mean easy, but their premise is simple and easy to understand. If you're dipping your toe into being funny, they're a great way to start. And since my background is in improv, let's start with one of my favorite games. Hey Waiter is a game in which one character finds some object in their soup, something that you wouldn't normally find in a bowl of soup. They complain to the waiter, and the waiter delivers a quick pun on said object. So here's an example with D&D as the thing found in the soup. Waiter, there's D&D in my soup. Oh, terribly sorry. When it comes to quality checks, the chef has been dragging his feet lately. Or, waiter, there's D&D in my soup. Ah, my apologies. I'll make sure that it's Demogorgon. Or, waiter, there's D&D in my soup. It's Chef Illithid's specialty. You'll really dig the mind flavors. So, did you groan? Did you laugh? Either way, I did it, and I own it. But how does one make a pun? Using this example, what you need is to make a list. First, let's make a list that has to do with food, restaurants. Let's do that now. Chef, cook, quality, customer service, server, host, restaurant, ingredients, specialty, specials, lunch, dinner, rush, meal, food, full, Yelp ratings, Michelin stars, reviews, diner, bill, check, tips, eating. Now that we've got that list, you need to make another list of things you know about your suggestion. In this case, it should be pretty easy. What do you know about D&D? Skill checks, perception, stealth, natural 20, critical success, critical fail, feats, ability scores, classes, creatures, beholder, rations, taverns, goblins, great axe, great sword, longbow, advantage, AC, saving throw, background, attack, spell slots, cantrip, bonus action. So now we've got our two lists. Now we look for common elements that both lists share. If you focus in on each individual word, consider what words might give you something to play with. In this case, well, the very first thing that came to my mind was, waiter, there's D&D in my soup. Oh, I see. Sorry, the temperature has really affected the chef. To make sure he doesn't miss the mark, I'm gonna adjust the AC. In this example, we can see AC is both armor class in D&D and air conditioning in a restaurant. Once you make the connection, then it's simply a matter of delivery. Are there any other connections that you can make between the two lists? This is one of my favorite exercises that you can try on your own with other categories. I'd start with this game, Hey Waiter, so you can continue to play and find connections with your already pre-built list of food and restaurants and whatnot. Then try to find connections with the food list and some other categories like shoes, comic books, cereal, candy bars, dances, rock bands, Star Wars. So this is an exercise, of course, that you can use to work on your puns. Simply put, you build the list, you find the connections, and then you figure out a way to structure the line so it sounds realistic, so it sounds good. So I think that's a pretty good start. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll be continuing this series with elements on delivery and other tools you can use to be funny at the table. If you like this, please give it a like. If you have any other questions about this technique, or if there are some puns that you thought of when we were going through this process, please share them down in the comments. I'd love to hear them. I am a big fan of puns. Subscribe so you don't miss out on the rest of the series. Until next time, take care.